coming in overpowers the previous consciousness. It's happened every time in the fourth day. The last one, I'll talk about in the 1800s. What occurred in the fourth day was that power overcame law, and corporations became not just individuals, but corporations became the government of our United States. And in the next fourth day, in the next fourth day, what occurred was that power overcame law, and then what's happening now is that ethics will be overcoming power. We'll be moving to where the basic consciousness will be based on ethics, not morals, and not control, but on our understanding of being a part of everything.
Yes.
And so we wouldn't hurt somebody else any more than we'd bash our own toe. And just a consciousness that most of us aspire and are living as best we can, are already living today. We're being ethical. We're not looking out to hurt anybody, not lie to anybody. We just want to be left alone and do our best, which we know is a lot more than anybody is giving us credit for. Every one of us are living that way. Or you would have turned off this radio program a while ago, or this
right.
web page. You know, we're already aspiring to this. And that's the kind of consciousness that we'll be entering more fully, with less and less burden of dark consciousness.
How do you see this playing out again in the cosmos, if you will? Do you have any special inclination, let's call it? Of course, much of it based on the Mayan calendar itself, and then, of course, your gift of intuition, and that is in the way of as you described it, meteor field. Of course, it's really not a meteor field that we'll run into. What I'm thinking, folks, and Ian, I'm telling you this for the first time as well, that historically, if I'm reading some of this material correctly, that we would see the smaller rocks first before the big one or the bigger ones. It's not, if anything, I don't believe it's a meteor shower that we're running into, or the asteroid belt is shifting. I think it's simply a cycle, usually elliptical cycles, that we're coming into. And so with that as a background, Ian, what do you see coming in the way of cosmic events, and if you have a timetable in mind, people usually like to have a idea of what's coming in the next few months.
Okay, well, I don't really want to paint big, bad, dark pictures, but what we're experiencing already is just the beginning of this acceleration. And things really have to change to where the powerful are not powerful anymore. Now, can you imagine that?
So here we are back to what the intervention might look like. I think I'm catching on. So, you know, if I was to make a priority list, I'd probably put nuclear interaction as last. I know that's going to surprise some people. I would have to put in the first three something to do with natural phenomena. Ian, what do you think?
Well, first of all, something like 80% of the world's population lives on the coastlines.
Yes.
Well, excuse me, but if one of those rocks hits the Pacific Ocean...
Oh, yes. 500-foot tidal waves.
There's nothing we can do about that other than be conscious of it and believe our intuition. And if your animals freak out, you should too. You know, I mean, that's that's all we can do about that. But you see, I don't want to be a doomsdayer. But the fact is that things have to change really drastically.
Yes.
And I don't see any of the powerful willing to step down.
Oh,
so,
right.
And in every time before, there was like civil war during this period of time. So, I don't wish to see a lot of shooting going on, but I am looking forward to heated exchanges of law.
Yes.
And of a civil takeover.
Yes.
Of governments and corporations, which are one and the same.
Yes.
By the people and returned to the people, who gave them the charters to form the corporation in the first place.
Yes.
It was your consent by which the government and all corporations were and are established. And by the retraction of your consent, then they lose their charters and cannot do business. Now, that's a big, huge step from where we are right now in consciousness.
Yes.
Most people are frantically trying to pay their bills to the corporation that owes them their allegiance.
Yes.
And it's completely stood on its head. This consciousness is leaking out, and here and there, everywhere. And the more necessary it becomes for people to change their lives because of their credit situation, the more open they become to the actual truth of the situation that they have been SCREWEDD. And we can then do something about it. And now all that kind of thing is happening right now during this impatient stage of consciousness.
Well said, Ian. I'm going to give you this last minute. My throat is trashed. I can't stand it much longer. I'll tell you. But I'm going to make it through. Please, Ian, take the last minute.
Okay. I want to thank everybody who's tuned in. This has been a very important experience for myself because I have kind of come to understandings as I was talking on the radio. And I know that you were a very big part of that, and thank you very much. I want to let you know that there is a lot for us to look forward to. Free energy. We all have heard about it. Some of us have seen demonstrations of what we believe to be free energy. And that kind of technology will become available to consciousness during the fourth day and forward. Things like being in more close or more open communication with people, you could call it telepathy, will become more normalized. It won't be a freak experience. And medical miracles, which we have gained over the last 100 years, will be dwarfed by genetic understandings and also healing techniques using sound, light, color, all natural, harmonic healing modalities. Those things will come to be understood and utilized, like acupuncture has now. There will be more and more refined types of healing techniques. All of that sort of thing is right there on the threshold. And Mr. Bush and his boys are not going to stop that kind of technology from existing or proliferating. So we just have to hang on, keep creating our own future. Don't buy into what is being sold by the insurance salesman. Create your own future. And that's the way we make it through all this.
Okay. Well, we'll have to end it there.